version of Jen Scott TV. We are not in the same location, so this is how it goes.
This will be for episode 19, another eviction episode, which this was interesting episode.
You know, I missed a lot of it, you guys. I was at work, but you know, I got the gist of it. Scotty saw it. We know what happens. We can just get like into the whole veto ceremony since they want to do this weird format, but like whatever. It's like when, you know, like on Mean Girls, like stop trying to make fetch happen. It's never going to happen. It's like, stop trying to change it up. It's never going to be okay. We don't like it.
So we basically start with Kyland using the veto on Claire. Claire immediately is like, don't care. Shouldn't have been on the block.
Like she was acting like, I mean, I'm not going to like say thank you because I shouldn't have even been nominated. Like, girl, you gonna make me want to put your ass right back up. Don't play with me. Like, you know, like at least fake it. I get it, but like it's also like fake it because it's the game. Like if you're too cocky, you're too comfortable. That's like one of the biggest mistakes you can make in Big Brother. So Claire, little do you know that you have Tiff, but that's about it, girl. And you are low on the totem pole, and you're pretty close to next because we're running out of whiteys and it's time to go. So.
And they actually had Kyland use his veto first.
What do you think he would have preferred to go second?
Probably just for like the reveal, I guess. But I don't know.
I would have thought they would have done it second. I don't know. Whatever. Spoilers, we talked about that Brittany was on the block next to Derek F. And that Kyland was the one that put her up, you know, that used his veto, the second veto, and that Alyssa didn't use the veto.
And Brittany has her breakdown after the veto ceremony. We saw just another recap of her losing her shit.
Yeah.
And also...
We don't have to do it anymore, though, until we go to the jury house and she's like, she's going to lose her shit over.
If Kyland, Sarah Beth show up in the jury house, it's going to be on site for them from Brittany. She's going to be like, she's going to start doing karate moves.
Claire's like wanting to get rid of Big D, and everyone else just like wants to keep him to the end. She's like, I don't know about that.
We moved to basically the main gist of the drama, which was Claire and Derek X pushing real hard for Big D to go home because everyone's going to keep him till the end. And they're like, why not keep... Right, why not keep Brittany, who's a shield and also, as Derek X said, a spear. Brittany's going to go after Kyland, Sarah Beth, like people that they don't want to go after because they're either aligned or they're strong competitors, as opposed to Big D, who's just not going to win anything. He's not going to do anything.
He might sleep throughout. He's like giving me Spencer.
At least Spencer won at, like, I think he won 2 HOHs.
At the end.
Right.
Crazy.
At least he
sometimes you keep people till the end. You gotta be careful.
He at least had some good drama with Amanda, but like Big D's giving us nothing.
Big D's giving us, and she's a bitch, and that's about it.
Yeah, and so through this, Hannah and Tiffany have to do a lot of work to shoot it down because,
like, these are our people, and we, you know, they have good points, but like we can't go against the cookout. That's number one. So we have to like find a way of like talking them out of that without letting it show that we have more other reasons behind not wanting to do that.
Mm-hmm. It's another example of the cookout trying their best to save their asses. Xavier did it with the Kings 2 weeks ago.
They've been getting away with it. So, I mean, there's been some mentions of things, but not to that extent. Just like it's interesting that there's only this left, but they haven't called out anything yet.
Yeah, and as we'll say later, who ended up winning HOH, but the cookout may end up being revealed because of this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited, but I don't care for the person, so I'm not necessarily happy, but I'm excited to see, okay, what's going to happen now because of this? Who's going to do what? What's going to, like, be said? Who's going to throw who under the, like, I want to see, like, because like you said, I want to see what happens if okay, well, that's like a spoiler, but like if a non-cookout member wins ahead of household, what's going to happen.
Yeah. Moving on to just more talk about the flip. They bring up good points about Big D Brittany being the ultimate pawn on top of being a target and a shield.
She's a good pawn, except for the fact that it's a like emotional burden on people. And she could probably win some stuff. So she's kind of not the best pawn, actually.
It's more like, I'm trying to think. This is the only situation where a pawn has been this emotionally like unstable every single time. Like after a while they get used to it. But I feel like because Brittany, eventually Brittany was going to have to go sooner rather than later. I feel like that's probably why she was more, I don't know.
I'm a fan of the cookout, but I honestly would have loved to see a flip and have just like Derek F and Azah can lead from the cookout for me. So
yeah.
But it would have been kind of nice. Like I'm going to be dead honest. Like if this was any other season, gone, don't need you, don't care, could give 2 Fs. Don't care.
We move on to DX making a comment to Tiffany.
Yeah, this part. There's been a couple comments.
Comments.
House anymore.
This is the first one that's been shown on the actual show and not just live feeds.
That's true.
We've had Alyssa, Christian, Claire, and DX all talk about the so-called lack of white people.
There's no white guys anymore.
Derek X said, did you notice there's no white guys? And I feel like this might be the first jury where there's not going to be any white men. And Tiffany was like, that's funny. It's almost like it's on purpose.
So weird. It's kind of like there might be an alliance that's controlling that. What? We live. It's giving 2021 goodness, which there's not a lot of. So we'll take it.
It brings up a good point of Tiffany mentioning that as much as it's going to be hard to send home Claire and Derek X, they need to do it like immediately. Immediately.
For the history, they have to do like, unfortunately, if you really, really, really wanted to win or really, really needed the money, a bad season to be not a person of color for once on Big Brother. But also like, I think you said Whitney and someone else said Travis or Christian or somebody said like, well, at the end of the day, like I will still be honored to be a part of a season that had history like this, even if I'm like a casualty of that history. So it's like bad season to be white, but also not, because like you're going to be, on a very historic like season that is necessary. Y'all, we had our time.
Right.
We have had our time. It's time for something else. And if it has to be super dramatic to start it off, it is what it is. And my number 2, like people I want to win are people of color, regardless of any of that. So I don't really I'm good. I don't care. Those are my people. I want them to win, or at least one of them in final 2, Hannah or Tiffany. I want either one of them. That's just me.
My only concern is if the cookout is exposed, will that affect the game in that they feel like they shouldn't put them up or they shouldn't target them, or how they're going to be perceived?
Of the numbers.
They still have the numbers, but at the end of the day, say it's Alyssa and Derek X in final 8 and Alyssa's not on the block, Derek X is HOH, they have to vote one of them out. But they still do have the numbers the next week and the week after. It's probably not gonna, they're gonna make it to the end at this point.
Gotten far enough, like at least one person has to be in the final 2. Fuck, I hope so.
The odds are in.
How disappointing if it was. It's like the last the Power of Veto comp where it was like all the jokers were in it and they still couldn't do it. You had every chance and you still couldn't do it. Like, so I hope it's not a repeat of something like that. Like,
well, at this point, the numbers are now 6 and 4. That's Sarah, Beth, Claire, Alyssa, and Derek X. Everyone else is a part of the cookout.
Okay, I'm not saying cookout, but I'm saying like just white people, like Alyssa and Derek X. There's really only 2 fully just like white people left, and I don't think that's ever happened.
I think the fact that there's such a large amount of women left and such a large amount of people of color left is, I really like it. And the fact that it's not been, I don't know what, like, it's not just been handed to them.
Like a couple more people, you know what I mean? Like give them a little bit of extra help, not extra help, just like almost evened it out finally to give them the opportunity. So they're not fighting an total uphill battle. Like, thank God. This is a great season. Like, I'm going to be honest, like if it keeps going
in this direction,
like this is going to go down as one of, and not just because of that, but like in general, it's got good gameplay. It's
the personalities. I love the personalities.
It's a good season overall. It'll go down depending on how it ends. It'll go down for sure as like one of the top seasons, especially of like the newer seasons.
I do want some fighting. I want some fighting though.
Oh, there's been some, but I want it to pop off harder.
I think once it gets down to Kyland going after Tiffany, going after Azah, like it'll be intense.
But yeah, no, I think I'm just hoping like this is like, you know how we like to like put it into like almost like 3 different categories of like Big Brother through the years of like the grouping of seasons. Like
it starts anew.
Is this the new? And if it is, I'm like all for it, because then we can just throw away this last one and the other 2 are all right. And then this new one's cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I think it is a good reset period because it is after an All-Stars. And
yeah,
you know, as much as I think 8 is more so like the previous, like 7 and 6, then
it was still
9,
sort of.
I feel like 8, 9, and 10 are in a weird in-between of like, they could be either, but I feel like they lean more towards the newer style than the OG. Just finishing the last little kind of bit of drama in the episode. Kyland and Xavier pull in Derek X to try to get him to throw this upcoming HOH. And he's at first like, oh yeah, like we're all just really big targets. We can't go after each other. And after talking with Claire, he kind of realizes like they're trying to get him to throw it so they can take him out. Backdoor.
Like, oh, and I'm going to be real. I watched him like so close.
He was so close.
So close. It really could have went a different direction. Like if he like slightly stepped farther. Like
he finds out from Claire, like, you know, the wording that they use is implying he's going to get backdoored. And he's like, well,
hold up. Wait a minute. Honestly, can we, no offense, and I get it, but like, can we get rid of, and I do like Claire. Okay, but can we get rid of Claire and Sarah Beth before we get rid of Alyssa and Derek X? Can we keep
absolutely
all to like the end and then like fucking cannibalize each other? But like, how cool would that be? Like, that would be cool. Like, come on. There hasn't been a lot of people of Asian descent on the show, let alone make it very far. I mean, we have
Asian males in general.
The male part, yeah, that's for sure. So it's like,
for him to make it this far already is big. I think Eviction, it's, you know, pretty signed, sealed, delivered.
You knew Brittany knew she was going, but she also was like not wanting to let go of that chance because she dressed ready for a comp. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you really, really know you're getting evicted, there's no chance. Like, show out. Like, she dresses up sometimes and like, you know. So I would have thought if she really, truly in her heart believed she wasn't going to be there, I don't know, maybe she thought there was like a battle back. I don't know. But like, why was she, not that she looked bad, but you know what I mean? Like when Janelle knew she was going, did you see what she wore on the block?
Right.
Okay. That's all I'm saying. And we've seen Brittany dress up like that at like a ceremony or an eviction. And it's like, she clearly accepted it and sort of knew, but I feel like there was a part of her that was like holding hope to something because she didn't dress ready to leave the house.
So basically everyone evicts Brittany except for Azah. Azah votes Big D.
Is that father Derek F, or did they have a conversation about it? And she was like, I just can't let her go out like fully, like, you know what I mean? Unanimous.
I feel like Big D might have done the same. He might have done the same and thrown a sympathy vote, but I think obviously once Brittany got evicted, Azah, I mean, she started crying, and like I can understand, like, you're losing someone, like, despite the cookout, I understand that.
I think
obviously had a strong connection, so like it's
strong friendship connection that will probably exceed the house based on a lot of her actions, and definitely obviously her leaving. Like, yeah, no,
I'm not gonna try to make her feel bad for crying. Like, she has every right to. And she
no, that was her close ally, as a person she hung out with and kept under her wing. And yeah, no,
and she didn't complain. I will say that. She was upset, but she didn't do anything to stop it. She knows what the goal is.
Like a what is it? It's a casualty of for the culture and this season. Like, it sucks, but it is what it is.
And Britt mentions to Kyland, glad to be part of both of your HOHs, as like a little dig.
I feel like it was a little dig. Like, she tried to play it off, but like it was a slight dig. I would have been like, bad during management. Like, I don't know.
Bye, Kyland. You're not getting my vote. Bye.
Ever. And Sarah Beth, as his homegirl, you wouldn't get it either. I will be petty. Goodbye. Like, I would, I swear to God. And then I get there and I might not, but I would say it. I would threaten. I would make you feel real bad.
Kyland kisses Big D just on the lips. That was included.
And it was like a thing. I don't know. It was funny.
I don't know. Okay. And then we finally get to the HOH. So we will say the standouts that were very close to winning but didn't. Alyssa, which I'm a little upset at this because she fell.
Right.
So for those who didn't see the HOH, you're walking on like a beam and then you get to a platform and you have to hit a button. You have to do it the fastest. She fell off the beam onto the platform and they said that didn't count.
I feel like maybe her toe scraped the floor or something as she hit the button, and that's why they couldn't count it. But it was like,
I'll have to rewatch it to see, but like it felt very like I don't even know if she would have beat the HOH, but I don't know.
But it still
it was disappointing. It was really, you could see she was real gutted. She was like, fuck, I really wanted that.
Well, at least like, it's like, I would at least want to lose without being like a DQ. Like, I want a real me doing my best and it still wasn't enough. Not me like effing up, you know?
Yeah. So
it could happen to anyone, but yeah.
Our new HOH
is Sarah Beth.
Sarah Beth.
So Kyland is like, boop.
HOH part 2.
Yeah. But actually I know they're very close, but Sarah Beth is actually, even though she comes across really sweet, she's a pretty dominant person. She feels how she feels. And I think regardless of what Kyland says to her, she'll keep it in mind, but she's going to do what she wants to do. It's going to take a lot, I think, for her to be convinced to put up someone like Claire or Derek X. I don't know. I really think the cookout is in deep trouble if they don't win power and they don't win a veto and use the veto on the other. Like, it's going to take a lot. And I don't put it past like Kyland or Tiffany. Kyland because he's close with her to maybe talk it, or Tiffany because she's really good at convincing people. Like, I don't put it past them to get real close, but she's not stupid and she's kind of stubborn. Like, it's going to be rough, but I'm kind of excited because it'll be interesting. Spoilers.
So for continuity, Sarah Beth has been talking to Alyssa. Alyssa mentioned Tiffany was mad when Sarah Beth won, which is true, but Alyssa kind of put herself in a bad position because even though she's telling the truth, Sarah Beth has run back to Claire and probably will tell Tiffany.
Yeah.
And I think she thinks Alyssa's doing it to save herself, which she is, but it's true. It's not false.
Back. Potential Alyssa backdoor if she keeps it up, or Tiffany gets like good wind of it. Like, she might have screwed herself.
Right. I do think Tiffany does want to take out a guy. I think she might try and get out like either Derek F or Kyland, possibly, or Derek X.
Make the mistake of keeping Kyland on the block, and I think the whole house could be flipped. Because the only person 100% not vote him out is the HOH. So they might take their shot. And I wouldn't blame them, but We'll see.
Sarah Beth has been saying that Claire and Tiffany are going to be safe, and Hannah will probably be safe. So it sounds like Derek X, Claire, Kyland, Xavier, they're all going to be up for possibility. And we will make an update video tomorrow on nominations. Piece together the new replacement nominee thing, Power, tomorrow. We'll see if we can pick apart some spoilers, but that was this episode.
But you know, to see that, like, comment, share, subscribe.